The Chicago Bears are standing at a monumental crossroads. The dream of a blockbuster trade just hit a massive wall. But general manager Ryan Poles isn't sitting on his hands. We have a shocking price tag on a superstar that changes the entire market, a new draft strategy that signals a major philosophical shift, and a roster cut that proves financial flexibility is the new priority. This isn't just off-season chatter. This is the blueprint for the future of Chicago football. Buckle up, because the decisions made in the next few weeks will define this franchise for a decade.
Adam Schefter dropped a bomb regarding Maxx Crosby that sent shockwaves through Hallis Hall. The Las Vegas Raiders have reportedly set an asking price that can only be described as astronomical. We are talking about multiple first-round picks and potentially key roster players just to get the Raiders to pick up the phone. This isn't a negotiation, it is a ransom demand. The Raiders look at Crosby not just as a defensive end, but as the heart and soul of their franchise, and they are pricing him accordingly to scare off suitors. For Chicago, this is a massive cold shower. Everyone knows the Bears have been hunting for a premier pass rusher to pair with Montez Sweat. The idea of Crosby in navy and orange is a dream scenario. He is relentless, a motor that never stops, and a leader who changes the culture the moment he walks into the locker room. But Ryan Poles is a disciplined general manager. He has shown time and again that he will not mortgage the entire future for one player, no matter how elite that player is. Now, let me switch gears and tell you what I really think about this insanity. The Raiders are absolutely delusional if they think any team, even one as desperate for a pass rush as Chicago, is going to gut their entire draft capital for a non-quarterback. I love Maxx Crosby. The man is a beast. He is a phenomenal talent. But asking for a package that rivals what teams pay for franchise quarterbacks is borderline disrespectful to the market. You do not build a championship team by emptying the cupboard for one guy. You do it by being smart, calculating, and opportunistic. Ryan Poles has done a fantastic job rebuilding this roster from the ground up. If he pulls the trigger on a deal of this magnitude, he risks undoing all that hard work in a single afternoon. It is reckless, it is dangerous, and frankly, it is not the Chicago way. We need playmakers, yes. We need to get after the quarterback, absolutely. But we cannot be held hostage by a team in Las Vegas that is trying to solve all their problems with one trade. The reality of the NFL is that leverage matters. Right now, the Raiders think they have it, but by setting the price this high, they have effectively frozen the market. No GM in their right mind makes that deal. So if the trade market is officially broken because of these ludicrous demands, where does that leave us? It leaves us looking for alternatives that don't destroy our future. If we cannot buy a superstar because the price tag is laughable, we have to build one from the ground up. And that brings us to a shocking new development in the draft that suggests the solution might be waiting for us at pick 25.
If you want to keep getting exclusive insights like this and stay ahead of every breaking story in Chicago, subscribe now. We bring you the real truth about the Bears every single day. Don't miss out on the insider intel.
If the trade market is a dead end, the NFL draft becomes our lifeline. Yahoo Sports just released a simulation that has turned heads across the league. In their latest projection published this Friday, they have the Chicago Bears selecting defensive lineman Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech with the 25th overall pick. This is a very specific tactical move. The report highlights that general manager Ryan Poles has identified the run defense as a critical area of need. We saw moments last season where opposing running backs were able to control the clock and keep our offense on the sideline. Drafting a powerhouse like Hunter is a direct response to those failures. Hunter is known for his ability to clog rushing lanes and disrupt the interior of the offensive line. He brings a level of physicality and grit that fits perfectly with the identity Matt Eberflus wants to establish. This isn't just about getting a body on the line. It is about changing the geometry of the defense. When you have a player who can command double teams in the middle, it frees up the linebackers to flow to the ball and allows the edge rushers to isolate one-on-one. That is football 101. Now, let me tell you why this matters. In a division with physical rushing attacks, you cannot be soft in the middle. You simply cannot. I don't care how good your secondary is. If you can't stop the run, you can't win in the NFC North. Taking Lee Hunter at 25 tells me that Ryan Poles understands the assignment. He is not chasing flash, he is chasing substance. He is building a wall. Some fans might want a flashy receiver or a corner, but let me be clear. Championships are won in the trenches. Look at the history of this league. The teams that dominate physically are the teams that are playing in late January. Lee Hunter represents a commitment to toughness. He represents a refusal to be pushed around. While the Raiders are asking for the world for Maxx Crosby, the Bears can get a young, hungry, cost-controlled beast who wants to prove himself. This is the smart play. It is the logical play. We have seen too many teams reach for sexy picks and get burned. Drafting for the trenches is how you sustain success. It shows maturity in the front office. It shows they are watching the tape and fixing the actual leaks in the boat, not just painting the hull. But here is the kicker. To bring in a rookie class and potentially sign other free agents, you need money. You need cap flexibility. You need to make room on the ledger. And that leads us to a painful but necessary decision the front office just made, involving a veteran player that signals the end of an era.
The business of football is cold, ruthless, and unforgiving. We have confirmed that the Chicago Bears have initiated the process of opening up significant salary cap space by releasing a veteran player from the defensive unit. While the team is keeping the specific financial details close to the vest, the intent is crystal clear. This move is designed to create immediate financial flexibility for the upcoming free agency period. When you look at the timeline, it all connects. The shock of the Maxx Crosby price tag, the pivot to a draft strategy focused on Lee Hunter, and now this release. It is a domino effect. Ryan Poles is clearing the deck. He is shedding salary to ensure that when the market opens, the Bears are not just spectators, they are active participants. Cutting a veteran is never easy. These are men who have poured their sweat and blood into the jersey. They are leaders in the locker room. But sentimentality does not win Super Bowls. You have to make the hard choices. This release signals that no spot on this roster is safe if the production does not match the paycheck. It sends a message to every single player in that locker room that this is a meritocracy. If you aren't performing, or if your contract restricts the team's ability to improve, you are gone. It is that simple. I respect the hustle of Ryan Poles here. He is not afraid to be the bad guy. He knows that to build a contender, you have to trim the fat. This money isn't just going into the owner's pocket, it is going to be reinvested into players who fit the timeline of this young core. We are talking about potential upgrades at offensive line, depth at receiver, or maybe a different veteran pass rusher who doesn't cost 3 first-round picks. This is strategic asset management at its finest. The Bears are positioning themselves to strike. They are loading the ammunition. The release of this veteran defender is the first shot fired in what promises to be an aggressive offseason. It's painful for the fans who loved him, sure, but if this cap space turns into a key starter who helps us win the division, nobody will remember the cut. They will only remember the wins. Every dollar saved today is a dollar spent on victory tomorrow. This is how modern dynasties are built, not by holding on to the past, but by ruthlessly optimizing for the future. Ryan Poles is showing us that he is willing to do whatever it takes to put a winning product on the field. However, with money in hand and draft picks lined up, one massive question remains hanging over this franchise.
We are witnessing a masterclass in roster construction, but the pressure is mounting. We walked away from a bad trade, identified a draft target in Lee Hunter, and made the hard cut to free up cash. The board is set. Now Ryan Poles has to execute. I need to hear from you right now. Did the Bears make the right call walking away from the Crosby trade, or should they have paid the price? And how do you feel about drafting a run stopper in the first round? Drop your comments below. This is our team, our passion, and our season to define. Let's see if the front office can finish what they started. Bear down.